Hello, this is Wendy Gunn, and we are here with the third in the time management tips for busy entrepreneurs. And I hope it will be worth your time to be here. It's going to be a little shorter, I believe, tonight, but I want to talk to you about your priorities. Now, you are created uniquely, as I've said many times, and therefore, you are going to have different priorities than I would or anyone else will. And you need to be firm and stand on what you know is right for yourself and your family. And you need to seek God and His will for your family and your time. It's really important. And in the end, it is only God that you answer to. But you know how that goes with our ability to say no. That has to be strengthened, that muscle. And so it is so important to go to God, to spend time in His Word and in prayer. And you may feel like at times you don't have time for that, but that actually is a time saver because you will not do so many other things that you would have spent time doing and that weren't what God had for you. And He knows what is best. And you will also be learning, as will your family. And one of the things as a high level entrepreneur, if you're an 8-figure entrepreneur, for instance, you probably have a house manager. You probably have delegated or hired out virtually all of the things that don't earn you money or get you to the next thing and level. I want to ask you to really think about your children. If you're a parent, if you're a Christian entrepreneur and a parent, I want you to recognize that if you take these jobs and you hire them out, you have to give thought to and plan what are your children going to do to learn a really good work ethic? What are they going to do to learn resilience, good work ethic? And I'm not talking about, you're probably teaching them how to make money and how to be an entrepreneur. Not what I'm talking about. They, especially young men, need hard physical labor. They need to learn to work with their bodies and they need to learn to work and they need to get that out of their system. Let me turn on my light. I see that I need it. So sorry to waste your time like that, but I didn't realize I needed it. That is a little lesson right there. You don't know necessarily what you need. You don't necessarily know what your children need. You need a coach. You need someone who is already finished, who has raised their children to adulthood, who has children who are walking with the Lord. It doesn't have to be me, but you need someone in your life who can help you to see what you are not seeing. You don't know what you are missing. You don't know the gaps. You maybe don't recognize what is this going to, if you start on this road, where am I going to end up? An older, godly Christian person can help you. A person who's raised their children. They've seen a lot. They just have the experience. And so I want to encourage you to not take away every job from your children. They need to learn that if we have a home, everybody contributes. If we have a family, we work together. There's a joy. There's a real joy in working together. So do not rob your children of working together and so many lessons learned when you have to get along with one another and accomplish a job together. And they're not going to have jobs always that they like in the home, and you won't either. Do you understand that if you're going to have a house manager, if you're going to, not do the cooking and have someone else do all the cooking, now tell me who's going to train the children? How are they going to learn? They need to learn. I think every person needs to learn how to do basic cooking. They're not necessarily going to start out where they can hire it out. They need to know how to do basic cooking. They need to know how to clean. They need to know what it takes to run a home and what it takes to work together as a family. If you are at this level, you have not always been at this level, no doubt. And you don't realize that where you are now isn't where you've always been. And your children are being raised, maybe you have different ages. Maybe the ones that are older have gone through all the stages with you, and they have been able to adjust and change, and they did learn some of these skills. Your younger children, maybe they have only grown up in an 8-figure home or 7-figure home. They do not know the same things. They have not learned all those skills, and a lot of time management skills, a lot of decision skills. Okay, so I recommend that you figure out, sit down and think, how are we going to train our children if we have a house manager, how are we going to train our children? What kinds of jobs are they going to do? If they never learn to organize their room, now I'm not saying that you automatically don't have that done, but do have them organize spaces. There's a lot of learning that comes from that. Just so many things. And then the joy of serving the family. One of our friends had a son who he just loved washing the car. They had a big vehicle. He washed it, and he found great joy in really keeping that vehicle clean. There may be, maybe you feel like it's a waste of time. Well, then have them do something. Have them do something, physical work. And dad, work with your son. Physical work and labor. You will bond. You will have chances to communicate that you will not have any other way. So just thoughts from an older mom. And prioritizing is so very important. You need to, I would say, quarterly, yearly for sure. And, it's an often thing that you're going to go back over your priorities. Ask God to clarify where you're going and how to get there. I've called that God's GPS, God's purpose statement that you find in His Word and through prayer. I want you to achieve His goals for you. I want you to, He has unique goals for your family and you. I want you to really pay attention to each one of your children and what their unique abilities, what they like, what they're drawn to, what they're skilled at, what their natural abilities are, what they're, are they, and every one of your children needs to be saved, obviously. Lead them to Christ. So the very most important thing, lead them to Christ. And then they will have a spiritual gift, or one at least. What are they? Know their spiritual gifts. Discover it. Talk to them about them. Talk to them about ideas of what they would like to do. Spend time communicating with each of your family members. You want a life, not just to make a living. Build your marriage. talk to your husband or wife, you need to take it very seriously, because if you succeed at entrepreneurialism, if you succeed at business and fail in your washout as a spouse and a parent, have you really succeeded? That is up to you to really think and pray about. I want you to succeed on all the levels. So think, and don't be going 24/7 all day long, all day long, all day long, every day. You're going to burn out. So make sure to put in every day the most important things and prioritize. ABC, we've talked about that before. And take time for yourself and your family. I'm not a huge self-care proclaimer, but you do need rest. God gave us the example of taking rest on the Sabbath, which after Jesus died and rose again, the first day of the week became Jesus' day, the day of the Lord. It is his day. Give it to him. Don't be doing your normal routine on Sunday. Go to church. If you are a Christian and you're not spending time fellowshipping with other believers, let me tell you that you are not using your time wisely. You need to spend time with God's people. Find a good church. Find a Bible believing and preaching church. You cannot eliminate the most important and then add God in just, well, maybe he's happy with me anyway. Prioritize God, his word, time with him in prayer, and fellowship with the believers. Do not forsake the assembling together of yourselves. Okay? All right. Well, I am going to cut this short tonight, and I've been kind of hard hitting on you, but this is so very important. I hope and pray that everyone who is within my listening, within earshot, who watches this afterwards, this is your command from the Lord. It is your command to be very, very intentional about your relationship with him, your relationship as a spouse, your relationship as a parent. Those are the most important relationships. Then you are an entrepreneur. Then what will you do with your life? So if you have any questions, type them in the chat. Hey, Ruby, glad to see you. I did this impromptu. Sorry, I didn't tell anyone. So you'll have to probably listen to the replay. But do you have any questions for me? If you do, put it in the chat. And otherwise, I am wrapping up. It's also very, very important to be faithful to your word. So if you say that you're going to do something, you do it. And that will cause you to think twice before you say yes. I recommend that you really think twice before you say yes. But I've heard it said that successful people make decisions quickly and change them slowly. So you need to learn to make decisions quickly and then don't change There's a Bible verse that I cannot remember how it goes exactly or where it is, but it talks about not being a person given to change. That means it used to be, not even a handshake. If I said I was going to do something, I was going to do something. Nowadays, people feel very free to make a commitment and then just not show up. Say, I'll be there and be late or not show up. That is not what you should do as a Christian, as a mom, a dad. If you've said you will do something with your child, you better follow through. It is so important. They're going to be looking forward to that. And as an entrepreneur, when you have sold a product to your client, you deliver, over deliver. It is so very important. So be a person of your word. That's honors God, and it'll make for good relationships. All right. Well, I'm going to end this stream, but thank you so much for being here. Good to see you.